Before we look at the next story of people asking questions of Jesus, I wanted to give you a quick update. We met in our church buildings for the first time since lockdown on Sunday, and the leadership team felt it went really well. We also found a few things that we need to look at carefully, not least being how to include as many people as possible. So this coming Sunday on the 13th of September, we're not going to be meeting in our buildings. We're going to go back to worshipping the way we have for the last few months and then meeting together on Zoom. It's our hope and our intention to get back into the building soon, and we're going to be discussing exactly how we're going to do that this week. In the meantime, we'd love it if you could let a member of the leadership team know what you thought about Sunday's service. Whether you were there with us in person, whether you watched it live over YouTube, or whether you listened on the phone line later in the day. That's my announcement done. Now let's talk some more about Jesus. We're thinking about the things that Jesus did and said which caused people to ask him questions. Questions, you see, they're important because they provide opportunities for Jesus and for us to share a bit about our hope, our faith, our God. In today's passage, the disciples asked Jesus, why do the teachers of the law say that Elijah must come first? And the answer to the question is maybe interesting, but it's not the answer we want to focus on today. Today we want to think about what led to the question. What is it that led to the disciples asking about Elijah, which then gave Jesus an opportunity to talk about prophecy and God's plans? Let me read the passage to you from Mark 9. After 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James and John with him and led them up a high mountain where they were all alone. There he was transfigured before them. His clothes became dazzling white, whiter than anyone in the world could bleach them. And there appeared before them Elijah and Moses, who were talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, Rabbi, it's good for us to be here. Let us put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah. He didn't know what to say. They were so frightened. Then a cloud appeared and covered them, and a voice from the cloud said, This is my son whom I love. Listen to him. Suddenly, when they looked around, they no longer saw anyone with them except Jesus. As they were coming down the mountain, Jesus gave them orders not to tell anyone what they'd seen until the Son of Man had risen from the dead. They kept the matter to themselves, discussing what rising from the dead meant. And it's this point the disciples asked their question. What happened on the mountain led to them asking this question, and what happened was an encounter with God. And we've just finished a series at Potters Bar Baptist Church on Sundays thinking about encounters with God, about how we encounter him, about how we respond to encounters with him. And one of the things we've learned, not least through the story of Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego, is that other people encounter God through us, his people. And if we show them God, if God does something amazing in our lives or through us, if he moves in power to heal or equip, to provide, to protect, if he does something incredible, if something happens in our lives that is so wonderful and so unlikely, people will ask. Just like the disciples had to ask about the wonderful thing that happened in the mountain. They did not understand how something so glorious could happen, and it prompted their questions. And so the next time that God moves in your life and someone asks a question about it, or says to you, wasn't that lucky? How will you respond?